Hi, good morning, everybody. Now, in continuation with the course Getting Started with Python, I am going to deal with part 2 of my list concepts, that is list comprehension and slicing. We'll see some programs on list comprehension and slicing. Then we'll move ahead with tuples and sets. Now, let me share my screen of my Python file so that I hope the screen is visible. Now let's see a program. I'll type the question here so that you're all able to see the question. Excuse me. Now this is the program. Write a Python program to print the elements in the list which are divisible by 3. As we have discussed already in my part 1 video, that list comprehension provides with the most flexibility that you can write the code in just one line. Now, coming to this program, write a Python program to print. Let me take a list, an empty list. Maybe it's of name yes. Let me take 10. Okay, let us assume this list. This is the given list. Now you have to print the elements which are divisible by 3. What are the elements divisible by 3 in the list? 3, 9 and 12, right? So now we have to print a list of these numbers. Now we have to separate this from the list. Now let me write this code. If you want that elements in the list format, you can use like this. This I for I in, what is the list name? Yes. If I modulus 3 equals to 0. Now let me print L. I hope the code is fine. When I run this, see, you got the output. You're correct. I've got all the numbers in the list which are divisible by 3. Now what I have did is I have print I from the list whose number whose which are divisible by 3. So this is the output. I hope you have understood the code. Let me say another program. Write a Python program to print the elements in the list. Print the strings. Now there is a list of strings. Now you have to print the strings whose last index is E. Okay. Last element maybe. Last indexing element. Easy. Now, I hope you have understood the question. Now we'll take a list of strings. Let me give fruits, apple, orange, pineapple, right, another guava, Okay. Now you should print the elements whose last indexing. How do we refer to last index in Python? See, we refer to last index with -1, right? We have discussed that already. Now let me write a comprehension for this. I for I in L, if I of -1 equals to E. Okay, I hope this works fine. Print, yes, sorry, yes. When I run this code, yeah, that's correct. I is a string, right? Strings also provide us with indexing. So the last element is referred to -1. So whenever, see I for I in L, we are referring to each and every element of the list. That is when it takes apple, I of -1. That is apple last index is E. So it gets into the list. Yes, okay. This is how you give conditional statement and loops in a list comprehension. Let me paste the output here. This is very easy. You can play with this. I mean, you can do any programs very easily with just one line of code. See, apple, orange, and pineapple are ending with E, right? So it's printing in the form of a list because S is a list. Okay. Now, coming to slicing, I hope you have understood, well understood the list comprehension. Now, let me get into the next topic, that is slicing. That's where we have stopped at the last class. Slicing. When you want to work with just a part of a list or some parts of the list, you go with slicing. The syntax for slicing is you have one list, right? List name of starting index is 2, ending index, end index, then step size. It is similar to the range function. Okay, step size is 1 by default, so you no need to worry about indexing. So sorry for the disturbance, there is a disruption. List name of start, end, and step size, this is equals to the range function in Python. Now this is the syntax. Now you have a list. Maybe you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now you want to work with just 2 items in the list. That is the first 2 items in the list. So what can you do is print. Slicing gives a list for sure. And end, whatever end you want. You want 2 elements, right? 0 and 1. If you want 1, I mean up to 1, you have to give the ending index as 2. As you have seen in the syntax of for loop, you have worked with this. Like, so let me run this. Yeah, you got the 2 elements. 10 and 20, right? You're going to print 0. It starts with 0. Whatever you give it the starting index, it takes that from that to end -1. Okay, 2 -1, 0 to 1. 0 and 1 are printed. I hope you have understood this. Now I hope you have understood the basics of slicing. Now we have a Python program. Write a Python program that replaces the second element. Sorry for the disturbance. I'm very sorry. Replaces the second element with the first element. Now L is given the list, to writing, making it as a list 3, 4, okay. Now you want to replace the second element. What is the second element here? Second element with the first element. Now digit 1 should be replaced with the string 1. Digit 2 should be replaced with the string 2, 3 with string 3, 4 with string 4. Okay. Now I'm going to write a program, very easy program using slicing. Now L of what is the index of this element? 1, right? From 1 to, if you don't give anything in the end, it takes the list. It takes 2 up to the end. You don't need to worry about the end element. This is here. You can do. Now the step size is 2, right? From 1, it has to exclude the strings and go, right? Now this is equals to L of 0 is 2 is 2. It takes up to end. No worry. Now 2. Now let me print L. I hope this works fine. All right, it is correct. Yeah. This is the output we have got. We have got the desired output. The second element is replaced by its first element. The second by its first. So I hope you understood. This is a very easy program using slicing. See, you don't need to take for loops for this because it's a costly process. It takes n square time, I think. So you can use slicing and easily do this program. Now there is a bug in this program. Like now if I give, let me remove this. If it's see attempt to assign sequence 5 extended slice of size 4. See, if it is for even number of elements in the list, it's working fine. But when it is odd, it's giving an error. So what should you do is you should take a condition here. If len of L is positive, if even, if it's divisible by 2, then you should go with the condition. Otherwise, what should you do? You should exclude the last element. Whatever is the last element, you should exclude it, right? L of 1 is to 2 equals to of 0 is to minus 1. If you give minus 1 here, it excludes the last element and takes the element before it. Yeah, this is step size is 2. Now print L. This program is fine for both. Sorry, this is not 0. Yeah, now it's printing, right? You have given this. Now whatever is left like that only in the list. You no need to worry. It doesn't have any replacement. See, 5 is there here. 5 is like that only. It's not, there is no element to be replaced with 5. So we have put like, now if you give any number, now if you give 5 here, it works fine. Yeah, it's replaced with 5. I hope you could see the result. Otherwise, let me paste it here. Yeah. 2, 3, 3. See, this 5 is replaced with 5. Now it works fine for both even number of elements in the list and odd number of elements in the list. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this program. Now coming to, we have done with slicing and list comprehensions. We have done with all the methods in the list, like removing, inserting, appending, popping, sorting list. I hope you have understood sorting also. Let me revise what we have discussed now. We have discussed the basics of a list and methods like appending, removing elements from a list, deleting, adding elements into a list, inserting, sorting function, sorted and sort function. Now we have many methods like, many functions like min function, max function, sum function, and length function in the list that we all have discussed. We have discussed how to loop through an entire list. We have discussed list comprehensions. We have worked with small parts of the list and we have done. Now let me show you a program on how to copy from one list to another. Let's save this file. I'm taking another list, another file. How to copy entire list. Now we have this list. Single quotes is also fine. Now you have to copy this list into another list. S is equals to, you can copy the part of the list also or the entire. To copy the entire list, you just need to give this colon. Okay, now if I print yes, it prints the list. Now L is being copied into S. Yeah, S is apple, banana, guava, berry, and kiwi. See, now you have got, yeah. Now if you want to print, the reverse order of L into S, now you can start with -1 to it is needed to go up to 0, right? Step size is -1. Now if I execute this, yeah, the reverse of the list is printed here. Berry, guava, banana. This is just the reverse order of the list. I have taken from -1, that is the last element. And if we do not specify any element, it takes that as default up to end. So you don't need to worry. Then -1 is the step size. +1 is to move front. Move in forward direction. But -1 is to move in backward direction. So I hope you have understood this. Now we have dealt with many programs. I hope you have understood the class. Now in the next class, we are going to deal with tuples. Thank you for today. Have a great day ahead.